Hi, I'm Joyce Wallace, health coach, and I want to share with you today how to make a white bean kale and turnip stew. I just went out to my garden and brought in this beautiful fresh kale, and if you're lucky enough to grow it, that's wonderful. It's filled with phytonutrients and fiber, and if not, if you can go to your local farmer's market, you can get the fresh kale, most fresh kale available. I also have chopped onion, chopped carrot, celery, and right here we have about 1.5 cups of beautiful turnips, which you can see over here. These are pretty much our ingredients. We have beautiful turnips that were just also picked from the garden. We have a little bit of garlic, fresh parsley, beans. These are white cannellini beans, but you could use any white bean. That'll add some protein and fiber to your meal. In addition to that, we have fresh virgin olive oil, red pepper, diced tomato, 1 can, and a box of chicken broth. I like the low salt version. So to begin, we start with adding a little bit of olive oil over here to our pot. I'd say about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half. You could go less if you're concerned about having too much oil. And we start to get that warm, then we just simply add, and I'm going to grab a spoon here. Normally I might use my hands. And we'll put the onion. Then we will add our carrots and celery. Very quick. You can do this when you get home from work, and the whole meal will probably take you 30 minutes. There's my fresh garlic. That's 3 cloves of chopped fresh garlic. And we're going to let that simmer for just a minute. I have a nice induction oven, so it cooks pretty quickly. And stir the ingredients to get the olive oil going on them. Turn it up a little bit. And you'll just simmer these until they get soft and tender. And at about that time, we will take and we're going to add our chicken broth and our diced tomatoes. And I'm going to have trouble with my box today. Not wanting to open. There we go. I'll also add a little red pepper at this time. And that depends on how hot you want your stew to be. I'd like it to have just a little bit of pepper twang. You can hear it now starting to simmer. And that's what you want. That'll take about 5 minutes. While that's going, you can be over here because we're going to add this beautiful fresh parsley. And parsley is packed with chlorophyll, vitamins, really, really good for you. I probably don't need quite that much, but and the smell of this is amazing. It's also good for bad breath. If you've eaten too much garlic, have a little bit of parsley and it'll take that bad breath away in a minute. So I'm going to also go over here and add this, and we're going to stir that because it's going a little high. Simmer that down a tad. Okay, it's getting right about where we want it. You're going to take your can of tomatoes, dump the whole thing in, and then 1 box of the chicken broth. And this will take about, I'd say 10 minutes to let this simmer with the turnips in it. Turnips and potatoes can be used sort of interchangeably. If you don't have turnips and you want to try potatoes, go right ahead. We've been simmering for about 15 minutes now, and we have to finish the stew off by just doing 2 things. One, we have to add the white cannellini beans. We're just going to dump those right in. And while we were taking a break, I shredded the kale. And the kale is going to make the stew nice and thick and hearty. So it's simmering, and we're just going to dump all of that in. It looks like a lot, but it sort of cooks down very quickly, and I'm going to turn the heat up just a tad. And push it down in there with your just a minute or two, it'll start to soften. Our kale and bean stew is ready. When the kale tends to soften and mesh into your stew, it's ready to serve. So we're going to take our bowl and ladle out what we want. You'll be surprised how delicious this is. And you've got your steaming stew. Top it off with some Reggiano or Parmesan and serve it up. Enjoy this on a cold winter's night and sit by the fire, eat healthy, and stay well.